Hey guys, welcome to week 1 of the 12-week minor key challenge. We're starting off with A minor. You'll remember from the last video that A minor shares a key signature with C major, so there are no sharps or flats. And I just want to remind you that if you don't have experience with major key scales and arpeggios, and or you're a super new beginner, this probably isn't the challenge for you right now. Also, there are 2 tiers. Tier 1 is a bit easier than Tier 2. I'd suggest doing Tier 2 if you're already somewhat familiar with minor keys. The format for each week will stay roughly the same. We'll work on the 3 minor scales first, followed by the arpeggio, and then every session will include a practice tip to help you master your scales and arpeggios. Then I'll introduce pieces of varying levels that are in the minor key, as well as the optional broken chord sheet music. Okay, I think that's it. Let's get started. The A minor natural scale feels very similar to its relative C major. Same fingering, all white notes. Tier 1 people, you'll do 1 octave, hands together, up and down, and it looks like this. For those doing Tier 2, you'll do 2 octaves up and down, hands together. And in the future, if you ever want to go further to 4 octaves up and down, all you do is keep going. Once you're at the 2 octave mark, instead of using your right hand finger 5, cross your thumb under so you can start the octave over again with finger 1 and just keep going up. If you want to do 3 octaves up and down, you need to feel the scale in groups of 3 in order for the timing to work out right. So for now, I don't recommend doing that. So let's just keep feeling the scales in groups of 2 or 4. Remember, this is the one that has a raised 6th and 7th scale degree on the way up. Then it goes back to the natural on the way down. here's the harmonic version. For those of you who are just starting out with minor scales, practice each of these scales separately. So work first on the natural, then move on to the melodic, then to the harmonic. If you've done scales before and are feeling confident with these after a couple days or a week, then you can try doing these back to back without stopping. Our arpeggio uses the same fingering as its relative C major as well. Right hand uses fingers 1, 2, 3, and left hand uses 5, 4, 2. For all arpeggios, feel them in groups of 3. Tier 1, you'll always have 2 options. You can either do 1 octave, which doesn't involve a cross, or you can do 2. Tier 2, you have 2 options as well. You can do 2 octaves or 3. Okay, let's talk metronome goals. Once I've learned a scale or arpeggio, I rarely practice without the metronome. So first, you'll definitely want to learn it without having your metronome clicking at you. Then, once you can play it fairly solidly up and down, here are some suggested goals with the metronome. Tier 1, your metronome goals for your scales might be somewhere around 60 to 100 beats per minute, and you'll be playing quarter notes, so you'll hear 1 note per click. Tier 2, I want you to play eighth notes with a metronome goal between 52 and 100. If you're having trouble feeling how the eighth notes fit into 1 click, go ahead and just do the math and think in quarter notes. You just double your metronome speed. 1, option 1 for arpeggios, aim for 92 to 120, option 2, aim for 60 to 100, and both options will be clicking the quarter note. Tier 2, you'll be playing triplets with a quarter note click. So you'll be fitting 3 notes per click. For option 1 and 2, try to get between 46 and 60. So my tip this week will help you learn your scales and arpeggios with intention. I often see people attempt a new scale by just starting, and they start fast. And when they make a mistake, they instantly go back to the beginning without thinking about it at all. And they do this over and over again. And you can probably guess how successful they are at playing it accurately, right? Not very. And when I say they, I definitely mean myself. I catch myself doing this all the time. Instead of this mindless loop, give yourself ample time on each note so you can think of what note and what finger number is coming next. Rather than playing in quarter notes right away, I want you to hold each note for 4 counts, so like a whole note. I'm showing you with a scale example, but do this with your arpeggio too. While you're holding each note, you're not just like thinking about the weather, you're thinking about what's coming next, what note, what finger. When you feel confident with 4 beats per note, then move on to half notes per note. And then move on to quarters. Remember, slow at first is the best way to learn. No one is impressed with fast but inaccurate, aka sloppy playing. So you gotta play accurately at a slow tempo before you can work up to a fast one. Now for the fun part, which is the whole reason why we take the time to study scales and arpeggios, the repertoire. I've got 2 beginner pieces and 4 intermediate to late intermediate pieces. Now, 2 weeks is not a long time to learn any of these pieces, so don't feel discouraged if you can only learn part of each piece every 2 weeks. The point is to get you playing in all of the minor keys, so you can keep track of your favorite pieces and then just come back to them later and you can take the time to really learn and master them. And then finally, if you choose not to learn one of the pieces, give these primary chords a try. The primary chords are the chords built on the 1st, 4th, and 5th scale degree, usually indicated with Roman numerals, especially in classical music. So if the chord is major, we use uppercase Roman numerals, and if they're minor, we use lowercase. So for each minor key, it will be a minor 1 chord, minor 4 chord, and major 5 chord. The A minor primary chords are built on A, D, and E. So it sounds like this. This broken chord arrangement, all the sheet music, the challenge tracker, the fingerings and notes for the scales and arpeggios, and links can be found in the description below. Good luck practicing in the key of A minor. Next week, I'll be releasing an unrelated video, although in a way, all music, technique, interpretation, and theory is related. But I'll see you for the next minor key in 2 weeks. And I would love to see how your practice is going. So you can tag me on IG or join our private Facebook community. Bye.